Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana. Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana. Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Mai ki jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, Yashoda Damodar ki jai, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, good morning. Thank you very much for your physical presence and also those who are listening online. Hare Krishna. We have a great opportunity to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. We are in Canto 4, Chapter 24, and it is text 16. Vidura Uvacha Prachetasam Girite Trena Prachetasam Giritrena Yatasid Pati Sangama Yatasid Pati Sangama Yadudha Hara Pritas Yadudha Hara Pritas Tanno Brahman Vadarthavat Tanno Brahman Vadarthavat Vidura Uvacha Prachetasam Giritrena Yatasid Pati Sangama Yadutaha Hara Pritas Tanno Brahman Vadarthavat. Please chant. Vidura Vacha Prachetasam Giritrena Yatasid Pati Sangama Uttahara Pritas Tanno Brahman Vadartava. Vidura Vacha Prachetasam Giritrena Yatasi Pati Sangama Yadutahara Pritas Tanno Brahman Vadarthamat. Ladies. Vidura Vacha Prachetasam Giritrena Yatasi Pati Sangama Yad Uttahara Pritas Tanno Brahman Vadarthavat. Vidura Vacha Prachetasam Giritrena Yatasid Pati Sangamam Yad Uttahara Pritas Tanno Brahman Vadarthavat. Vidura Vacha. Vidura inquired. Prachetasam. Of all the Prachetas. Giritrena. By Lord Shiva. Yatha. Just as. Asit. It was. Pati. On the road. Sangamaha. Meeting. Yet. which? Uttaha. It is Uttaha. Said. Haraha. Lord Shiva. Pritaha. Being pleased. Tat. That. Naha. Unto us. Brahman. O great Brahmana. Vada. Speak. Artavat. With clear meaning. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Vidura asked Maitreya, "My dear Brahmana, why did the Prachetas meet Lord Shiva on the way? Please tell me how the meeting happened, how Lord Shiva became very pleased with them, and how he instructed them. Certainly such talks are important, and I wish that you please be merciful upon me and describe them." Purport. Whenever there are some important talks between a devotee and the Lord, or between exalted devotees, one should be very much curious to hear them. At the meeting of Naimisharanya, where Sutta Goswami spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to all the great sages, Sutta Goswami was also asked about the talks between Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadev Goswami. For the sages believed that the talks between Shukadev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit must have been as important as the talks between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. As everyone is still eager to learn the subject of Bhagavad Gita in order to become perfectly enlightened, Vidura was similarly eager to learn from the great sage Maitreya about the talks between Lord Shiva and the Prachetas. Please, if you like, chant with me. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vidur asked Maitreya, "My dear Brahmana, why did the Prachetas meet Lord Shiva on the way? Please tell me how the meeting happened, how Lord Shiva became very pleased with them, and how he instructed them. Certainly such talks are important, and I wish that you please be merciful upon me and describe them." This always fascinates me, that you can, I always, as a child, I was looking for something. I didn't know what. But it appeared that just ordinary life, even as small as, I think I was less than 10, I was kind of checking out different kind of people. There was a strange neighbor who had red hair. I mean, for me it was strange. He wasn't strange, he just had red hair. I mean, this, not red, but I don't know how you call this color. Not dyed, naturally. Some people have, I don't know how you say it in, Yeah, in either case. And then, you kind of observe as a kid, what's about them. And it's true that the ordinary life actually does not satisfy the soul. And here, in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, that's why this literature is so exalted, that we can, it's revealed, these conversations. And also I think as a kid you remember you wanted to listen what the parents and elders would speak. You kind of would like to stay around and hear what they were speaking. Sometimes parents would send you away, and you wanted to hear and understand. So here we have great personalities, Lord Himself on the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, having these conversations with His devotees and the devotees between themselves. So basically people with very personalities, with very elevated consciousness. So I don't know, for me it is very fascinating to hear. I might not be elevated, but to hear what they talk, I think it's very special, because it reveals what's in their heart. It reveals the depthness of their relationship with the Lord. It reveals finer emotional exchanges. It reveals very deep things. And if we here, it's described that actually in our society there is always questions and answers. Even in animal society there's questions and answers. But in animal society the questions are, where is food? Where is safe place? And then in a human society, often the topic is, where is money? Or where is sex? Or how to be comfortable in this world. And generally this question come out. I've been going out on Sankirtan, and when I present a book, sometimes there is hi, I'm coming from the monastery, and are you from around here? And they say yes or no or whatever, it doesn't matter what they say. And then I just show the book. I say, we show these to all the nice people today. It's on yoga, and meditation tells you how to get free of stress. You have heard of stress? And then depending on their answer, I often ask, so what's your, how you deal with stress? What's your, and then they say, oh, it's very interesting what people say. Breathing, boundaries, I just don't think about it. I go to the nature. It's very interesting. And then comes the moment where I have to present the book actually. Now it's like, okay, I say, well, I have been doing this for some time, and I say different things, but this time I say, this is a wisdom what yogis used to elevate their consciousness. And generally we are connected to the consciousness, I am this body. And if we are connected to this consciousness, that means everything which is referring to the body, eating, sleeping, mating and defending become very, very vital. And we are very much anxious about these things. I say, but the yogis, they actually try to elevate their consciousness. The next one is the mind and all the emotions and feelings and thoughts which are in the mind. And then that becomes very vital, to be validated, to be acknowledged, to be so on, so on. But the yogis even go beyond that. They try to connect to themselves deeper in a sense of a spiritual being, as a spiritual being, above the body and mind. And on that platform, when they find this awakening and this connection, then these disturbances from the eating, sleeping, mating, defending and all that mind thing, they don't affect them so much. So that's one way how I present the book. And in our scriptures we find that questions which are not related to spiritual subject matters, they are called Gramya Katha, village talk. And probably sometimes you go on a bus somewhere and there's some talk going on. Then often it's life, but it's not life which will, it's not the topics which will actually make you free of birth and death, which will actually awaken to your spiritual nature. It's generally topics which will entangle you. So that's Gramya Katha. And then there is another kind of Katha. Katha means talk. Krishna Katha. And this you will find only in the association of devotees and the Lord and devotees. They will talk about these subjects matters. And if we hear these subject matters, then we become awakened, and then we become transformed. Then that is actually a qualification for spiritual life, is this eagerness of hearing. And at a certain point the taste awakens. And these, here we read in commentary, Sutta Goswami spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to the great sages. So again, there is a sage, and there's many sages eager. And these sages, they were saying, please speak more. We want to hear more. They were, it's interesting, tasting so much pleasure through the ears. It's interesting how ears have a very small hole. But actually, if you are exposed to a proper sound vibration, the whole sky can open inside of your consciousness, just through the ears. Because it will help to expand your consciousness from this very conditioned state of, I'm this man or a woman, and I'm bound to this body and these relatives and this earth. And I'm destined to suffer again and again and again and again. Actually, we are not. This consciousness is very miserly. It's very conditioned, prisoned. Sometimes it's also said that the womb of a mother is a prison, and to get out of that prison is through devotional service. And first part of devotional service is hearing. Hearing about devotional service, hearing about Lord and His devotees as those exchanges go on. And here we see that these sages, Sutta Goswami and the sages, they wanted to hear, hey, what Maharaj Parikshit was hearing and asking to Shukadev Goswami. These great sages, they wanted to hear the conversation of this king and Sutta Goswami, Shukadev Goswami. And then, interestingly enough, in the audience there was Parikshit. Parikshit is the king. King's mother was in the audience, but because she was sitting far away, she couldn't hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Parikshit Maharaj, he was so eager to hear that he didn't eat and he didn't sleep. He was, of course, also he knew he's gonna die. That's an aspect. But another thing, what I also say on the people on the street, I say, you heard about yogis, right? I said, yes, you see, they can go, you heard, they can go without eating, sleeping, mating, defending. How is that? Because their consciousness is not connected, identifying with the body and not with the mind. That's why they can disregard these things. And they don't disregard them because they despise them, because they have something else better. This is an important thing in spiritual life also. We are practitioners, and we know that these great acharyas, they were sleeping so little, they were eating so little. They, what to speak about sex life, about finding shelter, fearing, they were so above it. And then often we try to feel like I should be able to do this. I should be doing this. Yes, we should come to that platform, but there is something which is important. You can't just artificially renounce these things. It's more by taste. These acharyas had taste in their relationship to Krishna, taste in hearing, taste in chanting. They didn't want to stop, we were like, oh my God. Some days it happens that it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, afternoon, and we have more than 8 rounds left. And you're tired. It's like we're not usually so enthusiastic about it. And it's like a hard work to keep up this commitment. To But these acharyas, they didn't want to put their beads down any time of the day. They chanted 164 rounds or 192 rounds. It's like some another dimension they were living in. So, why? Because of the taste. So, that's something also to focus on, rather than how to awaken this taste. And this taste is awakened in association of devotees by hearing these descriptions of great personalities, how they, here we're gonna hear now Lord Shiva. I mean, you put any channel, like nowadays there's many there's the Netflix and there's the Sky and anyway, when you have a cable TV, it's like 100 programs or something, or more than that. Or put it on there. I doubt Lord Shiva, you're going to hear any conversation like Lord Shiva in Prachetas. It's generally Gramya Katha, most of it. So anyway, back to the mother of Maharaj Parikshit. She didn't hear, and Parikshit Maharaj was supposed to die now, very, very soon. Her son is going to be leaving, and she didn't hear Srimad Bhagavatam, so she came up to him and she asked, my son, please can you give me an essence of the whole Srimad Bhagavatam? And he said, yes, I'll speak Brihad Bhagavatamrita. I'll speak what Jaimini Muni spoke. And that's the story of Gop Kumar, another devotee, how he was looking for the Lord, and also it describes also the glories of the holy name. Gop Kumar was chanting mantra, and this mantra, this holy name of the Lord, fulfilled his deepest heart's desire. And another point is that he never stopped until he reached his heart's desire, most intimate, most deep desire. He never stopped. So hearing Krishna Katha, hearing holy name is entering through our ears and completely destroying the material imprisonment. By participating in the Srimad Bhagavatam class, you are really doing harm to your material life. So yes, Uttara, he heard this. So Maharaj Parikshit's stay was a little bit extended, and he delivered this Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And here, just now, we're gonna have Vidura. Prachetas, these great sons, and Lord Shiva. And the question is, how this happened, how they met, why this, context. Vidura is asking Maitreya, my dear Brahmana, why did these Prachetas meet Lord Shiva on the way? How's that happen? What qualification do you need to meet Lord Shiva on the way? Please tell me how the meeting happened. How Lord Shiva became very pleased with them and how he instructed them. Certainly such talks are important, and I wish that you speak. And you please be merciful upon me and describe them. So there's another shows that the attitude. This is another thing. That we have such a wonderful how to call this? It's an opportunity to break free of material existence, of samsara. And then we go out on the street and we try to share it to people. And you know how it is. People are not very much interested. But some people are just ripe. It's interesting also. You go out there and you just don't know which person, where they are at in their life. It's like apple tree, You go, you shake it. Sometimes nothing comes. They are still green. Sometimes you shake it, it's poof. So many apples come. So you don't know. So Lord Chaitanya has given us this task. You go out. You be there. You try. You do your part. And little by little, there's a lot of people who maybe they don't take book, or maybe they already have the book, but they're favorable. They're like, yesterday I met one man. I offered him a book. He said, "No, I'm atheist." And I was like, "Are you a good one?" And he's like, I said, "Yeah, it's a joke I throw at the people sometimes when they say this." He said, I don't know if I'm a good one." I said, you are from this country and probably Christianity. He said, "Yeah, that was my background, and I lost 2 friends. And I just couldn't get the answers I needed. That's the point I became. I let it go. And then I just empathized with him. I acknowledged his loss, and I acknowledged how, when such things happen, it's very difficult to find an explanation. How the Lord, who is so all-powerful and so kind, allows this to happen. I just said that. I didn't try to explain anything, nothing. Because and he appreciated it. He said, thank you. So, I prepared him for the next Sankirtan devotee. He's open. He might not take a book for next 15 times he meets Sankirtan devotee. But if the devotees stay open and positive and encouraging, maybe on the 16th time, the apple will, he'll take a book. The same about inviting people to temple. Those who have already the books, that's what I guess that's our job. Alright, I shared what I wanted to share. If you have, it was a rather short notice, and I have a little bit difficulty with my body and mind today, but the topic is so nice, and your association is so nice. Then why not? It's good for me. And most of this class was based on notes of my good wife, who listened a class of Vaisheshika Prabhu, who spoke on this verse. Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for your class. You were stressing the point, or not stressing, but you were sharing about your experiences on Sankirtan, which is always inspiring to hear. And you said that Mahaprabhu wants this from us. I was wondering, we sometimes we focus so much on attracting new people, but how to cultivate people who are here and to speak always Krishna Katha with each other.
A very relevant question. This question has come up in me many times in the last 3 years, especially since I have not gone out so much on Sankirtan, or specifically, meeting a new person and presenting Krishna consciousness. Because when I say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants us to do this, it means somehow or other to be connected of the mission in sharing Krishna consciousness. There are some devotees who have a nature of interacting with people very easily on the street, or some people have a great nature in giving seminars and organizing presentations. Some people are more introverted and they don't feel comfortable, actually, and it's very difficult for them to directly confront people. We have different natures and different skills also developed in this life. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Shri Gauranga ki jai. And all that can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. And really it is on the individual basis. We are different. Some of us can fly and some of us can swim. And you can't compare fish by, You can't mark, or how you say, when you do grades in school, how you say this process? Examine. There's another word, better word. Assess. You can't assess devotees on the level of how much they perform or how much they do Sankirtan. It's every little devotional service is done should be appreciated. It's devotional service. Yes, we should not be complacent. Yes, especially devotees in the temple shouldn't space out. That's also there. But every service should be appreciated, because it is appreciated by Krishna and by Srila Prabhupada. In terms of, so I think that covers kinda this, that everyone should go out on the streets. I think it's healthy, I think it's adventurous, but again, that's my nature. But at least everyone should try Sankirtan, I think. And if there is a good support, not just like, here's the books, you push them out on the street and people just like ignore you and are nasty to you, and then you come back and you feel like a failure, and it's not talked about, and it's not, then there's a support. If there's a good support, then we can do so many incredible things. So, but activity itself, I mean, it's a very, very interesting, very special. There's a special opportunity to experience this, but it doesn't disqualify. Every devotional service activity is special. I'm sure you have experienced cleaning the floor and being in ecstasy. Have you that experience? I have that experience. I have ecstasy when I mean, not every time, but when you clean toilet or go take out the trash. You can be in ecstasy. It's not about that, the devotional service you do, but it's about in which space you are. And then we come to the question, should be attracting more devotees, and what about the devotees who are already attracted and are struggling? How much we should divide our efforts in seeing that devotees are having good support, so they don't leave, because a lot of people also leave. They come to Krishna consciousness, and it's very exciting, it's very incredible. But then they hit a speed bump, they hit a challenge. And if they don't have enough relationships and enough support system, it's very difficult to stay. Although you are convinced philosophically, but if maybe there is not that support system, and maybe you didn't get that habit in reading the books and chanting your rounds in the morning, and you didn't yet get that. And even if you got that, there might be situations in life where, things happen and you fall out of it. What do you do? This is just so valuable. This Krishna consciousness is so valuable. There's almost, but what do you do? And sometimes we need help. And actually always we need help. We on our own, it's actually not possible. The material consciousness is so strong, the environment outside is so strong that we can actually maintain this Krishna consciousness only together. This desire, hearing Krishna Katha, this desire speaking Krishna Katha, it comes through the chain of disciplic succession, through the acharyas. They are really connected. They are eternally liberated associates of the Lord. They live on it. We don't. So by keeping association and hearing from them and keeping association with devotees who are serious, and there will be, it's not like there will be no challenges. There will be challenges. It's not if, maybe. It's just a question when the challenge comes and how you deal with it. And if you have the relationships and the attitude and the support system, then you can surpass those challenges. And I think that caring for devotees who already are here in a temple, I think I don't want to say it's more important than going out on the street, because again that can be helpful even for those devotees who are in the temple. It's also healthy. It's a part of is to share. But yes, it's essential to care for those who are for each other. Charity starts at home. So yes, I don't know if I answered to your satisfaction.
Thank you. You spoke about taste in chanting, so I just have a question: how to make sure that the taste develops, not just in chanting, but also in the process of devotional service? Because a lot of times I find it difficult to practice sadhana and service, and then it creates offenses rather than attachment to holy name.
Yes. Science of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, it's an ongoing effort to refine our practice and to learn. There's the body, there's the mind. We need to take care of those also. Let's say if you don't sleep for 3, 4, 5 days, it's very difficult to do anything, even on material level, what to speak of devotional service. So yeah, we need to take care of those things. And then of course we are given some do's and don'ts. Some things we should do and some things we shouldn't do. Rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness. And then these rules and regulations, they kind of help us to stay in a healthy ground. And then there is also what we avoid. Well, the don'ts is offenses, like you said. Offenses is a big one. There's all kinds of offenses in service, offenses towards the deity, offenses towards the holy name, offenses towards the devotees, towards devotional service. So gradually we learn about them and we try our best to implement them. I wish I would have a great taste myself, and I wish I would avoid offenses myself to give you more insights, but I'm still in that zone of learning. um, association with advanced devotees, like you do. You hearing the classes of your Guru Maharaj, and we have some visitors here, opening your heart, asking. That's one of the most potent ways to remain in that good space of learning and endeavoring. Because now it's a lot of endeavor with not so much taste. That's called anartha-nivritti. Endeavor a lot, and the taste, yeah, sometimes it's there. And a lot of times it's not there, and you just know that that's there, and you're struggling with these anarthas. But together, eventually we pass out through this cloud of anarthas, and then there comes steadiness. It's a rather it's an advanced stage actually when the steadiness comes, but we can see devotees. There are devotees. They achieve it. It's possible to achieve it. Personally, we know devotees who have steadiness. So when that steadiness comes, that's a relief, because then things become easier. Then comes taste, and when comes taste, very much easier. Sometimes it's described as a rocket. There's a lot of fuel. Most 90% of fuel is needed to bring this rocket, because we have a gravity here. So things fall down. They don't go up. So rocket is very heavy. So to go through this atmosphere of gravity used up like 90% of fuel. And when it reaches this space where there's no gravity anymore, I don't know how it's called. Anyway, it's zero gravity. Thank you. It makes sense. It's weightlessness. If something is weightless, you can push the rocket like this, and it's just gonna go. So you don't need much fuel. Or an example of two magnets. You imagine heavy magnets. Imagine magnet as big as a bucket. One here and one there. Let's put it's heavy. Magnet is very heavy. It's like an iron bucket. To push it is very difficult. So you have to put one here and put one here. And then you start pushing this one there. And it's heavy. I don't know if you could do it actually. You push, and then 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter. And it's like, but this distance, they have attraction naturally. And when it's going to enter that, it's going to start pulling, and your pushing becomes less, then it's going to be pulling you, rather you pushing the magnet. You're going to fly there. So with this, we have attraction for Krishna inside of us. It's there. And it's a bit covered. So now this is the process. We're uncovering it. And to remain with this process, we need association of those who have uncovered it. We need to hear from them regularly, with attention, with quality. And try to our best to tame our ego, to tame our mind, to avoid offenses. It's hard work. But the reward is incomparable with anything you even can dream of. you will have association with personalities so rich with love and emotions and qualities so beautiful that we cannot even dream of. There, and what to speak of your own relationship to Krishna, it's very, very deep. Unfortunately, somehow, we find ourselves in our tiny I am Swiss, or I am Latvian, I am woman consciousness. Is that right? Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nanda Kumar ki jai.